My name is Dr. Rick Saguil.
And action. Hey, Jay had a listen church again. And action. Hey, everyone. Eddie and Joe and Bill and a couple other people. I'm losing track because we're having to cancel a lot of patients just for fear of this coronavirus. I gotta stop touching my face. Hey, if you see me, I'm wearing a mask or gloves, it's because I can't stop touching my face. Bad habit from acne when I was a kid, but I guess all of us touch face. However, we can't do that, so I'm gonna have to do something. Anyway, if this is the first time you're finding me, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and pray, seek shelter, and wash hands. Wipe and wash. Wipe stuff and wash stuff as best as possible. So shelter in place, what does this mean? It's what we're doing now. So, hey, so I just wanted to show you my new, this is not PPE, but this is a fake PPE. Why? I don't know. Maybe it makes me feel better. We don't have PPEs in yet. I've requested it several times. Getting tired of asking. I love Advocate for what they have done for me, but I don't have any PPEs. So I've got a shield, which is good in case I get droplet spread. I've got the N95, which is good, so I have those two. But that and no test kits, very frustrating. And I'm going to be really pissed off if I get this disease. And I think the universe is telling me something. However, so shelter in place. Everybody is calling to find out. I actually had one more too, Tiffany. One more patient that had a friend that works with somebody that was exposed or positive corona. So I had to call several different places. I didn't know what to do. I mean, we have an 800 number. Here's the numbers. So you have the Illinois Department of Health. That's the number. And you have you can call your county board of health, but here it's DuPage County Board of Health. You might have McHenry or Cook, and they can give you ideas. And that's funny because when I called the IDPH, I called it several times to talk to people, and I waited like 20 minutes. Luckily, nobody's showing up, or we're telling everybody to turn away. Actually, we have a sign in the front that says, if you have had recent trips to China or endemic areas, that's terrible, I have to say endemic now, and or symptoms, turn around, do not come in and go to the emergency room or call these numbers. I think we're all just trying to shelter. If we had test kits, we'd be able to say, this is positive, this is negative, circle the wagons on this one can kind of just stay protected. But we don't have test kits. Good Shepherd in Barrington is supposedly starting a drive-through. I have to get the details. I actually want to get swabbed myself just so I know. But you have to pass the quiz to get the opportunity to get tested. And after calling all these people, including the Advocate Aurora hotline, it essentially came back to, okay, if you have mild symptoms, then you just stay at home for 2 weeks, shelter in place. We actually have several doctors that have to shelter in place within Advocate. I don't think it was positive. I think it was just because of a recent trip somewhere or maybe exposure. However, we hardly know the exposures, and there are more and more exposures, and it's going to logarithmic increase just because it's the rapidity of the virus jumping from person to person. But it's you don't have to be traveling from China or Italy or Iran or South Korea or plus minus Japan. You don't have to be traveling anymore because we know it's community spread. So we know that if you're coming from those areas of endemic viral infection, you obviously have to be checked. If you have symptoms, you got to be checked, in my opinion, because until I have test kits in my office, everybody that has a cough, even if their usual allergies are flaring up, and this morning I woke up with a little bit of stuffy nose and I coughed, and I was like, oh, I got it. But knock on wood, I don't. So even if you have normal stuff like that, you still have to consider positive. But I mean, if you're living, breathing, exercise, I went to go exercise. I posted on Instagram and Facebook. I went to go exercise with a mask and gloves. And I thought, well, this is weird as heck. And there wasn't anybody at the gym. So I think everybody's getting it. And Monica had said might be dangerous. And it's true, it might be dangerous Lori said that. It might be dangerous in the gym, but at this point in time, until they close the gym, because I usually go early morning, nobody's there. Until they close it, I will use that. When they close it, I'm going back to Jack LaLanne stuff in my 15 minutes of hell video, or going for a walk. I think that social distancing, where you're 2 walking sticks apart, that's about 6 feet apart, is fair on a trail. So I'm going to hold just for this COVID bullshit, I'm going to hold a hiking thing where we're all 2 walking sticks apart, somewhere fun to just get I'm tired of this. And I have resigned myself to the fact that if I get it, I get it. I mean, if the surge hits in my hospital, Advocate, they're probably gonna, haven't been in a hospital in I don't know how long, but they'll probably call the primary care docs to cover for the internists, the hospitalists that have to cover for the ICU, because the ICU is going to be swarmed. And if you need more vents, if you need more people to be watching those people, then the people have to watch the floors, and they're going to probably call us in, because the guys that are watching the floors are going to have to watch the ICU or the overflow beds. So it very well could be that I have to go to the hospital. Hoping not, but if my community needs me, I mean, that's what I signed up for. Didn't sign up to die, but yeah, but I guess it might come to that. So, till test kits are available broadly, and I'm hearing from Florida and California and Washington that they're still not available. So I'm going to assume that until these things become available even on a street corner, and I don't know about Quest and ACL having their version of a test kit, you have to have the test kit at least approved, because if you go cheap Joe Schmo test kit from Walgreens, it might not be that great, or online. Nothing against Walgreens. I think they're doing a great job. I didn't mean that, but say Amazon. Buy a test kit on Amazon for $200. And the cheaper the test, the more error that it could come up with, and the more false negatives or false positives it can come up with. So you want something that has credence, that's been tested, that's reliable. So until they come up with reliable test kits for everyone, you just have to assume everybody's positive around you and treat everybody like that. So social distancing, that's 6 feet or 2 walking sticks. If you don't know what 2 walking sticks that you baby boomers, 2 yards away. You millennials, 3 meters. No, 6 meters. Sorry, I'm not a millennial. I'm a boomer. So I'm thinking yards. But you have to keep that distance. You also probably should be using resistant or gloves if you're going to be handling stuff. Probably should be wiping everything down, including going to the gym. I had to bring my own wipes. I asked the guy, what is the stuff they have in the squirt bottle? They have a squirt bottle in Planet Fitness. And you squirt, you get paper towel, and you squirt there. But the thing is, everybody's using a squirt bottle, and nobody wipes down the squirt bottle. So every time you pick that up, even though you spray this stuff, water on the paper towel, and you wipe down your machines, you just picked it up because you handled everything, an object everybody else handled. So hopefully everybody at the gym is healthy, but this virus doesn't care if you're healthy, if you're skinny, if you're thin, if you have multiple medical problems, if you're a baby, you can still get it. Probably won't die if you're a baby, probably won't die if you're 20, but if you're 30 and 40 and 50 with medical problems and immunocompromised states aren't just HIV, that's diabetes. Thyroid disease that is autoimmune, technically you're immunocompromised. Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, those are all immunocompromised because there's a weird problem with your immunity. MS too. So there's a lot of things out there that kind of make you immunocompromised. If you're a smoker, I'd say you have a compromised state. You can't fight as well as an average non-smoker. So all these things have to be considered if you're in that little middle window, 30 to 50. If you're 60 and have medical problems, for me, it's Medicare age, 65 and above. If you have 65 and above and you have any medical problems, or if you're free of medical problems, just come in for a physical, I'm getting you out of here. No, we're canceling all those visits because I luckily don't have symptoms, but I could be a carrier. At this point, who knows? We just have to assume everybody's, and I have high risk because I'm seeing a lot of people. So I have to assume that I'm positive. I'm doing the precautions to take care of that in my house, in my car, in my church, in my office. So hopefully I'm negative when the test becomes available, and hopefully I won't spread it. But if you assume I'm positive and keep your distance, you should be okay. So if you are not going a doctor or in the healthcare profession and you think you're positive, cold, cough, fever, chills, sore throat, certainly call if it's a mild sore throat. I'll throw antibiotics at you, even though I don't like that, but it might make you comfortable, feel better at least. And that's, I had somebody come in with anxiety, and the symptom and the thing that they came for was not that overwhelming, but I think anxiety can really flare up your symptoms and make you start coughing, right? So assume that everybody's sick, positive, and shelter at home. That means usually just stay in your house, try to not drive too many places. If you have to go get some groceries or pick up your kid, then do so, but try not to intermingle, try not to hand stuff off. This is when I buy stuff at the grocery, I use this for touching the pad, even going to the bank and making a deposit or taking a withdrawal, I'll touch this. So this is pretty cool. I never really used this before. I'm afraid the pen's gonna come out and scratch my phone. But anyway, those are the things that you have to remember. And then I gotta wash this. So I just touched this and I forgot to wash it, so I gotta wash my hands. So see how it's those things that we took for granted from before, it's like, who cares, right? But you gotta take them seriously nowadays. I think it's making everybody reset their bad attitude or the lax behavior, especially when it comes to health. Those of you who it's like, I don't have time for the exercise, or I'm not going to worry about my diet right now, I got too many things. Well, now you got to worry about your diet. Now you got to turn it on. So I don't want to beat you up for that, but this is more of a different video. So when the test kits do become available, so wait, the shelter in place, usually 2 weeks. Bill had a question. If I have symptoms and I approach the 2-week mark, the 14-day mark, if I have no symptoms, what do I do? I told Bill, if you self-isolate for 2 weeks and you get towards 13 and a half to 14 days and you have no symptoms whatsoever, it would be nice to assume that you're negative. If the test kits are available, I'd say get them done. But now, as I mentioned, it's a pain in the butt. I had to wait 20 minutes just to get suggestions that I already knew. So far, there are roadblocks to this. I just heard everybody's gonna get $1,000 for 2 weeks off. I can't wait, but you probably have to call even 3 times as many numbers to get the $1,000 refund or whatever it is, tax credit, who knows what it is. This is just so ridiculous. I'm trying to make fun of this, but anyway. Bill, at this point, if you need a note, I'll give you a note that says 2 weeks off. We don't have to put why, just say 2 weeks off, symptoms are gone, and we're cool. If we have the chance to get a test because it's rapidly and widely available in 2 weeks at the 2-week mark, fine. I'd say get the swab. Usually it's a nose swab, but if it's not available, we just have to assume. And even if you shelter in place for 2 weeks, do all your work from home, do online Skyping, do all that, or take 2 weeks paid time off, you can still get it again. So that just because you had a cold or a cough for 2 weeks and you resolved it, cool. But there still is the rest of the summer. This could go on for a long time. So that's the other thing, is to take the anxiety out of this 2 weeks thing, to take the anxiety out of it. You should understand that most of us won't die. Most of us won't be intubated. No, most of us won't go to the hospital. And this is going to be, we're going to have to start talking about what to do until August. In fact, a lot of the rescheduling I did for my patients, I just said, come check back in August. Here's your blood tests. If everything's cool, get your blood test. I'll see you in August. If not, postpone it for another 2 to 3 months. We'll have to see, because this virus doesn't have a playbook. We don't have a playbook for it, and it doesn't have to follow the rules anyway. So it can go into influenza season, which is October, and that'll be really confusing because you'll have everybody coming in with influenza symptoms. Maybe it's corona, maybe it's not, but hopefully by then we'll have test kits available, or I won't be working. So when the test kits do come out, so hopefully, Bill, that answers your question. When the test kits come out and are ready, then I'd say we ask, I have a feeling you still have to jump through the hoops. Then we have to see at that time, number one, if you're sick, if you can get documented, that'd be awesome. Because we know once we start documenting people, we'll know at least of the people who are sick. we'll know at least of 10 people that on average are sick in this community, 2 of them test positive, we'll know it's 2 in 10, so 20%. And then we can extrapolate that to the entire country. So if you have 10 sick people, there's always going to be 2 of them that really have the COVID. So you have a little bit of leeway there. You can kind of let up on the restrictions. If it's just 1 in 10 or 1 in 100, that's even better that come back positive. Then you know we're isolating it and we're controlling the spread. But if you have 9 in 10 people, that means 10 people that are sick, 9 of them test positive. That means that you have a very infected state and community. And that's not even testing the people who are not sick. So you'll have to assume there's carriers too, but that'll just give you a proportion of how strong this thing is. We kind of know how strong it is because of the rapid spread, but hopefully we as Americans have a stronger, well, probably not. I was going to say stronger than Italy, but they live longer than we do. So maybe we have a different immune system over here. Maybe we indulge in too much crap that the virus will say, I don't want to infect this guy, he's full of crap. So who knows? But we'll still be at the mercy if there are, if and when the test kits come out, there'll still be a protocol to jump through. So hopefully they'll have their act together, all 3 institutions, to make it more seamless. Maybe more drive-throughs for testing at hospitals, Walmarts, Walgreens, CVS's. So, and then finally, when the test kits for everybody, symptom and no symptom, that's like South Korea. I think, no, they're still not doing it in Italy, but South Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, Taipei, great. They're just letting everybody test and they're isolating immediately with very fast follow through and isolating and watching. So when they become available for everybody, which will probably be winter next year, then you'll know exactly what kind of restrictions you should follow. The CDC will probably change. Advocate is changing its restrictions or its rules every, Advocate Aurora, that number, changing its rules every 2 days. So we know the trajectory of the virus because of what China went through, South Korea, Italy's going through. Man, I think they have 1,000 people, 1,200 people on vents. I didn't even know there were that many vents in all. I mean, President Trump said he's going to order more vents. He said he's going to order more test kits. So Italy's really straining, and now they're having healthcare workers get sick, and then you take out that population, you have less people to monitor the machines, and damn, I mean, how do we take care of that? Well, PPEs, and so far nothing. That too, I'm really scared about this thing, but using the power of suggestion and my spirituality to make sure that I make it through this without anxiety flare-ups, because when you're anxious, it screws up your immune system too. When you get no sleep, it screws up your immune system too. If you are so distraught that you dive into alcohol and get less sleep, then it screws up your immune system. So if you do get a little bug, I really think you can fight it. If you get a little bug but you're sick, you can't fight it. Your chances are lower. So there are some people who just glide through this infection. They're recovered. There are some people that are recovered. If you go on the website, 80,000 recovered. So far, 7,500 deaths and 190 going to 200,000 people that have been infected all over the world. So it's a pandemic. It's everywhere. I think we'll do pretty good. I think Canada will do better than us because they're getting it slower, but I think the Canadian border just closed. I have a feeling by the end of the week, or probably by tomorrow, there's not going to be any flights in or out of the United States. And then if we isolate that, if we close every school, close every bar, restaurant, keep the grocery stores open, and just limit this, almost like it is post 9/11 when nobody flew, nobody went out, crime went down. I think you can burn out the virus so it doesn't jump all the time. And then, or at least control the surges. So again, that peak where Italy got hit immediately, if you can spread the peak out, that'd be cool. But when you spread it out, it lengthens the time that you have to suffer from this thing. But at least the hospital systems don't get overwhelmed. You can kind of take care of pockets. So hopefully this for Eddie and Bill and Tiffany and whoever had a question, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea. Use the numbers if you have any questions because they have more answers than I do. But again, I think we have to, we're going to learn about each other intimately because we'll be stuck with each other in the house. But it's a nice time to, you can still get outside. You can still get outside, just can't mingle, and you can't touch things and leave your potential germs on those things. But we should have been doing that anyway. For all those people who thought I was too obsessive compulsive in the past, yeah, family members have told me I'm too obsessive compulsive with washing and eating. Well, here it is. So it was for a reason. I knew this was going to happen. What might be worse is if our enemies see how we react. They might use this in the future to, never mind. So shelter in place, stay calm, start thinking on the long term. We'll make it through this. If you get sick, don't worry. If you get really sick, go to the emergency room or call up. If you're curious and you want to keep tabs on the IDPH folks, then do so. Oh, this is also, if you want to buy stuff to clean your equipment, then get this from the EPA. You can download it and it gives you all the products that have been approved to clean off coronavirus. Don't just take it for granted. I'm sure that Planet Fitness has got some good stuff in that squirt bottle, but you gotta touch the squirt bottle. And so I'd rather bring my own wipes and just throw them away. So stay safe, stay healthy, make those lifestyle changes now because we got the whole rest of this year to deal with this thing, and it ain't too late. And if you're not sure what to do with life as far as lifestyle, subscribe to me, and I'll give you more hints. Talk to you later.